all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we are super happy to have you here, and we just ask that you bring an open mind and heart to your listening experience and to be prepared to explore vantage points that I'm convinced will help shift or solidify your current understanding of the ultimate nature of reality. While listening, you'll be exposed to inspiring, empowering, and unifying perspectives that I'm highly confident will yield stellar results in your life if you opt to try them on for size. Also, at optimistic.tv, we have officially begun releasing the first few episodes of our new late-night style, consciousness-elevating video variety talk show, Optimistic, which features live visionary art, soul share interviews, retreat guests here at the Mystic Manor, as well as live musical performances. I'm also super excited to announce that we are currently making plans to release the rest of Season 1 on my personal favorite online streaming service. So stay tuned to optimistic.tv to follow the unfolding development of this exciting Optimistic expansion, as we'll be posting more info and release dates there soon. And in the meantime, be sure to check out, of course, the first few episodes at optimistic.tv as well.
All right, all you positive heads, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today on this beautiful day on this magical earth. Today, I thought I would get back into Return of the Bird Tribes by Ken Carey. I haven't read this book for quite some time. I think the last time I picked it up was 921, maybe, episode 921. And I read a few chapters of it. Way earlier on, I don't know when, but this is such a great book, and there's always a time to pick it up, and it seems that now is the time to pick it back up. And I'm picking back up where I left off in part 2, and if you can hear, I decided to sit outside today and let the birds serenade us a little bit, of course, while I'm reading The Return of the Bird Tribes. They're going to sing for us a little bit. So, part 2 begins with a poem by Quetzalcoatl. The serpent mind disentangles from the branches of confusion, uncoils its knowledge to greet the dawn, and sees in the growing light great colored, feathered wings that grew unnoticed in its sleep. Understanding perfectly, in a single rush of joy, it flies above the ancient promises, beyond where the forest lies, to the open sea. As rings around the morning star, light corridors through the air. Chapter 13, The Energy Behind the Wind. Behind the subtle breezes that whisper through the treetops, fine and delicate energies pulse into your world from the spirit world, from an energy level not visible to your senses, but as tangible as all you touch and hear. You detect these energies, taste them, feel them. They come pulsing out of the early morning air above the trees, gliding swiftly past you, lifting tiny hairs on the surface of your skin. Out into the meadow and beyond they flow. You cannot see them, but you sense them and know they are there. Watching these subtle whispers behind the wind, you notice that the birds are watching them too, playing with them, learning from them the news, gathering a picture of what the day has in store. You become aware of little messages going back and forth throughout the forest. Every tree, every fern, every moss-covered stone is aware, sensitive, listening. The natural world is attuned to a multidimensional communication that is always happening, flowing back and forth. As you listen to it, the wind tells you things. You allow its currents to gently move your thoughts as the eagle flying over the treetops lets them move his wings. You sense how the eagle waited in the tallest tree on the ridge to catch a certain expected current, riding it when it came, gliding before it as it broke, like a wave releasing warm air across the valley. If there were words put to these subtle conversations of nature, what message would they convey? These designs and patterns, sliding quietly into your world from a realm beyond. You watch and listen, blending with what comes your way. Somewhere in these currents, there is meaning for you. You notice that these energies, more subtle than the breezes, are in fact the reason why the winds circle as they do. The currents of moving air respond to these subtler energies and express a portion of their information flow. You begin to see in a new way the forest, a system of living information flowing back and forth along an invisible, but to you, an increasingly perceptible network of energy. You feel it, picture it, with something deeper and more clear-sighted than the physical eye. Little webs of pulsing current, crisscrossing among the trees, networking, joining, slowly circulating in the swirling presence of a vast and eternal being. And along these webs comes information, sailing from one world to another. As you relax, you blend into this pulsing network. You no longer feel separate from the grid of its swirling creative energy. You feel it within you, around you, merging back into the ground of being. The little voices behind the wind lead you into an awareness of the intention that is calling out the life of this earth. You release all tension that would hold and define that great love. You relax your self-images, your ideas, your beliefs. You let go of your concepts about being human. As your cultural definitions fall away, you experience a natural expansion of awareness. You know yourself as part of the world around you. It is a physical as well as a spiritual experience. You no longer force the creative energy of life into arbitrary structures of interpretation. You let the energy flow as it will. You become aware of the living presence of God. You begin to see, as you blend with these subtle energies behind each breath of wind, that the sun's influence contains information as well as warmth and light. Warmth, life, information. Light, intelligent design. As you merge into the ground of being, allowing your sense of self to be drawn into an expansive new experience of who you are, you encounter the solar intelligence behind the subtle breezes. You hear a familiar voice, like the voice that whispers in your dreams. It tells you things that at first come to you as matter-of-fact observations, things that, of course, you have always known. And yet, when in deepest relaxation you allow these solar winds to blow through the words you have stored in human mind, you realize that these insights, obvious to you in your natural state, are not acknowledged by the human world in which you live, though children and poets at times sense them still. You listen to catch the words that will help translate your perception. Information percolates through to you from the subtle world of spirit. Your body knows, your senses pick it up. Its relevance goes deep into that place in your heart where you determine how you can make the most creative use of time. Every dawn brings indication of activities for which the coming day is suited. When you saw the eagle fly across the face of the rising sun and give out his call, it was not accidental or without meaning. To the other birds and animals who were watching and gaining their impressions of the new day, the eagle's flight was a cue, a message rich with meaning. The time that he chose for flight, the direction he was flying, the place from which he appeared to the birds and animals who were watching. These were parts of his statement, sentences in the paragraph of his expression. But there was other news, equally valid, of more or less importance to various creatures. How the crows reacted to the eagle's flight, how long after his cry the owl and whippoorwill chose to pause before resuming their song. The birds and animals notice. What kind of day is it going to be? Is it a day that you should look for your meal on the hillside? Or might you be better off going up into the pasture? Could it be a morning to fly to the treetops and sing for an hour more? Or is it a morning when you had better get busy, because it might cloud up and rain before the day is over? In every moment, the Great Spirit communicates to all creatures everything they need to know. Through 10,000 billion agents, angel, elemental, animal, vegetable, and mineral, through the vast and subtle network of living design beyond the weather, before the wind, the truth is ever being transmitted into this world of form. It is up to each one to sense how that truth translates and relates to him or her in each moment of the day. And this is true for humans as it is for any other creature. The process is not complex. The sensing and translating is not done with the mind. It is an autonomic process that occurs spontaneously below the level of thought when judgment subsides and allows perception to simply be. A natural process that takes place effortlessly when your mind relaxes its cultural interpretations and trusts you to experience the natural clarity that is always present when you are present. In the historical state, this natural process is overridden by human insistence on making decisions with the intellect alone. Intellect is a good thing. Reason is a valuable tool. But the mind was created to serve, not to eclipse the human spirit. In attunement with the creative energies that pulse beneath the outer surface of life, spirit has ways of determining behavior that are far more rapid and effective than anything an ego could calculate through slow motion, linear reasoning. Notice first from below the level of your reasoning, from above the level of your individual identity. Notice the rich and awesome world around you. Feel its impressions. Notice how they change like a kaleidoscope, slowly rotating, shifting and rearranging colors, hues and shapes, and vibrations as they tumble slowly over one moment into the next. In every moment, you have around you all of the information you require. You are at all times surrounded by the truth of what is, the energies behind the wind. They are signaling to you. On the subtle levels of being that precede the winds, the spirits who take form on earth first enter this material plane. Most of them enter on the solar wind and live only for a moment or two, an hour or a day. Ice crystal egos form around them in the upper atmosphere and melt before they touch the ground. But some learn to live longer. Some find their way into feather and fur. What comes before the morning breeze? Subtle intentions of the solar wind. What comes before the breath of sun that comes before the wind? The energies of being. On a planet, turning to face her love star, earth and sun, building a spirit bridge along the lines of attention that they turn one toward the other. Lovers gazing into one another's eyes. Along the lines of their gaze, potential appears. Some of that potential becomes incarnate. Most does not. Some succeeds in attracting physical form. Some does not attract even that first crystal. An invisible field of energy around the rolling earth, a vibrational grid of form, in essence, determines which patterns most easily materialize. A grid of intended creation is held suspended around the world, an image of what is to be, an order, implicate, becoming. You feel yourself relaxing into deep awareness of our kind. You feel us surrounding you, working with you, assisting you in the world you have chosen. Ideas occur along the lines of gravitation between the earth and star. We hold some of these ideas as one might hold an image in the mind. We visualize what we would like to see incarnate. Eventually, creation will reflect our designs, for along the energy pattern images we suspend in consciousness, creatures take form. The creatures that find themselves incarnate in biological form, in feather, leaf, or flesh, have formed along the lines of this energy grid that exists on the surface of the earth. where her atmosphere mingles with the light of this nearest star. This energy grid is our perfect image of a child implicit in the order of the universe, a child in which the spirit of the Eternal One begins to awaken. This is the being of God, drawing the Earth's biosphere into a single living body. Everything in nature pulses with this sense of being. Every ripple on the ocean, every hill, and every mountain. Every particle of matter contains the total information of all creation. It is radiating out from everything, relaxing your individual sense of self. This is the being that you become, totally satisfying what your heart has been longing for. Releasing fictitious images to the wind, you feel, you know. You accept the image and likeness of God, the perfect pattern image of the angel that you are. In that acceptance, you experience the fulfillment that is your mission and purpose in time. There is a perfect image for you, a spirit energy field that calls your biology into the vibrating patterns of being's perfect purpose. You have only to relax and release the ways you have formerly thought of yourself to sense this perfect image, to feel your spirit purpose, to allow God to describe you. Why create yourself in the image of imperfection when the Great Spirit, source of all life, holds out to you an image of unspeakable beauty? Can you feel it now, fluttering into the atmosphere of your consciousness? It is defining you as a projection of all that is, as a steward, a caretaker, an Ongwi Honwi, bearing special gifts of love for the earth and for all her creatures. For the fishes of the sea, for the four-footed, the winged, and for all that you perceive. This world lives inside you. Her creatures are the organs of your body, and they are a part of you. They are you. You are this world's organ of consciousness, awakening. You are eternity's love for time, embodied in human form. Your being and God's being are one. Noticing the world around you, perceiving the daily information of the subtle energies that precede the wind, you do not fail to note the seasons. With every fiber of your being, you sense the shifting climate. You feel the returning spirits of the stars and know well that the old world is passing. You see children dance up out of the earth who perceive clearly the world of reality. Their bodies are self-replicating. Their minds are light. They are of the new consciousness, our flames across the shimmering lakes of understanding. Consciousness, come from the stars, appearing from within your own hearts, beginning the objectification of a presence long overdue on this world, at Tanoha. And this new consciousness speaks of the circle, the round, of the sacred hoop, of giving and receiving, of seasons for harvest and seasons to gather up the fruits of all that has been. A new harvest, a new species, loving people to explore and develop, to enjoy every sunlight, every shade, every hillside, every field, every river valley. As the ages pass, you will see many more worlds in the temperature range of this planet, this third planet from your sun. It is in this temperature range that the perfect balance can be found between energy and matter, spirit and structure, creator and creation, time and eternity. It is in this temperature range that the beautiful child, the flying winged one, is created and sustained. From this temperature zone, the children of light go forth to cultivate the star fields, introducing these temperatures wherever there are worlds eager to know the potential hidden beneath their mountains or sleeping in their sand. You are the beginning of how eternity reveals its potential in time. Your own historical moment is indeed the optimal moment, long predicted. Many of your kind are now opening to the angelic blending that is guiding your race from ignorance to reality. Humankind is poised on the threshold of a fundamental species transition. We, and the Great One, whom we serve, desire this change to come gracefully. like the opening of a flower, or the breath of angel wings behind the wind. Well, quite timely indeed, I say. Thank you, Ken Carey and the Bird Tribes, for being so incredibly amazing. And I hope you all enjoyed that chapter 13, The Energy Behind the Wind. I'm going to leave you all with one of my new favorite songs. This is Nako and Medicine for the People. Slow down. Until next time, everyone. Love you all.
And if you're feeling the call to come for a week retreat-style Mystic Manor immersion, remember to go now and book your time to speak with me directly about stepping into the optimistic vortex at calendly.com/talkwithbrandon while there are still spots left. Otherwise, I look forward to co-creating magic with you at the Mystic Manor.
It's been a long time coming round and smoothing out the edges and slowing down and listening. What is important? What is your focus? Don't you go and stumble now. Are you listening? Horse tail, we can heal it all with blend medicine. Body, mind, and spirit crying. Slow down, slow down, slow down. Light it, light it, light it, making a broth for a feverish head. Now I'm no stranger to loneliness. Are you struggling? Sweeter than lavender years in the making. Drink it up. It's your nature, but I'm struggling. Coping with all of it to help with alignment. Clearly I am no good at this. Who's even listening? Take it all on, I can know what you're doing. Trying not to lose yourself out there. Are you listening? Horse tail, we can heal it all with the medicine. Body, mind, and spirit crying. Slow down, slow down, slow down. Light it, light it, light it. la da da